the inside part of the plate, and Castellanos didn't like that call. Davis goes to third.
He is such a thief when thrown. Davis knew that because he'd already watched Norris do it.
Tapper to short. It's going to be a tough play to get Davis. Safe to first. Kelly scores. And the Tigers now lead at 5-1.
Another ball down into that corner. Rajai Davis shading over there, makes a running catch. He caught it in fair territory. It didn't hurt that the previous ball was hit down in that same area.
Center field. Drives this one to the air deep into left center field. That ball is tattooed, and it's going to go up against the wall. That'll get another run in. Rajai streaking all the way to third, and he is in safely with another triple.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from the AAMP.TV mobile studios here in fabulous Las Vegas, AAMP.TV. Folks, make sure you check out the sportscircus.com for our upcoming game. Our game here, I'm thinking about the baseball field because we have stolen base leader. That would be Rajai Davis with us. All right, make sure you check out our upcoming schedule. It's live, folks. Anything can happen. Our schedule, our guests, our prior guests, our podcast. Check out our partners as well. Lots of great charities represented and some fine institutions as well, such as the College of Southern Nevada. Make sure you check out the csncoyotes.com upcoming schedule for all of their athletics. One of the best baseball teams on the college level every year in and year out, folks. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you ever want to see a really good brand of baseball, check out certain schools in the western half or the southern half of the United States. And I think our guest can kind of talk a little bit to that if we asked him to. But nonetheless, going to a game at the College of Southern Nevada, that is in Las Vegas. I will tell you, there are scouts and scouts and scouts and scouts. And the brand of baseball is remarkably better than what I've been seeing on television in the Korean baseball organization. It's just a complete comedy of errors. Rajai Davis, look, before we get into that, I want you to finish your story about watching the players. Now you're in the clubhouse with the players that maybe, some of the guys you looked up to. Finish that story, please.
Oh, absolutely. So now I'm in the clubhouse, with guys I admired, guys that I watched on TV when I was a kid. And so now I'm in the clubhouse and thinking, man, these guys are so good. I'm thinking oh, how am I going to compete with them? And with that thought process, I was never able to really succeed like I wanted to, like I dreamed about. And so as soon as I, in my mind, took these guys off the pedestal, off this great, they're so great that I can't do what they do. As soon as I did that, then I started really believing and accepting the fact that I am really supposed to be here, And I mean, I expected to be here when I was a kid, and when you get here, for me it was a dream come true. It was like I was in a cloud somewhere for 4 days. I was just so high on life. It didn't matter what you did or said to me, because my first day in the big leagues, I didn't bring any of my baseball stuff. I left it all. I was so happy just to be there. That was good enough for me. Okay, so it was
that moment. What I'm after here is the moment when you realize, not only am I here, but I'm supposed to be here. I had an experience like this that I won't really get into much detail, but it took me a few weeks to kind of get acclimated and say, am I really supposed to be here? Then I found out literally a couple of weeks after that. I'm like, wow, you know what? I think for whatever reason, I was selling myself short because obviously everybody else saw whatever they saw, and they said, you are supposed to be there. So, Rajai, it's no mistake that you have been around for so long and you continue on your journey. And you've got, I'm going to guess, 3 or 4 more years in you. What do you think?
Well, I think so. I think it comes down to, where my family situation lies, because I do have a family now, and I have young kids. One is my son. He's 4, and he's turning 5. And I have a daughter who's 6 going on 7, and so now they're at the age where they don't really want daddy to leave now,
Right.
because daddy plays with them. Daddy gives them piggyback rides. They're able to ride daddy like he's some animal. My
Right.
son loves playing baseball. So that's one thing we've been able to do because of the current conditions and situations, pretty much every day. And so that's something I have to really, really consider now, because of the fact that, I love and I enjoy playing, but not at the expense of missing family time. I think the most valuable and important time of their lives, being so young.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. That's a big deal. But now, in the different places you play, look, you've been called back to play at different clubs. And if I'm not mistaken, you had a couple of tours of duty with Oakland and Cleveland. And so what if Oakland or Cleveland or Toronto or San Francisco or Pittsburgh, what if they come calling and you say, you know what, it's not just a money thing. What is the big driver? Is it for you, outside of the security for the family, et cetera? What is it? Is it something maybe close to home? So, for example, maybe if the Red Sox came a calling, because I know you're on the East Coast, maybe that would make life a little easier for you.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes total sense for me. Because ultimately, I want to be able to, not only, play and help a team win, but I also want my son to be a part of this, a part of the game, a part of the experience that I didn't get to enjoy when I was his age, he's gotten a little bit exposure to it. I don't know what he remembers, because he he's only 4, and so it's definitely makes the decision a lot easier when it's convenient for my family to at least show up.
Okay, so
just driving.
all right. So your son is 4. What's his name?
Jordan Michael.
Jordan Michael. So Jordan Michael enters Little League. He's 7 years old. He's playing Little League. Are you coaching his team? Or are you the dad that's going to keep your mouth shut in the seats?
That's a good question, because if I'm not the coach, that means somebody else is going to be trying to teach my son, and chances are they weren't in the major league, so chances are they're not going to know what I know.
Right. That's why I asked.
And the chances are, we don't want them to pick up any bad habits. So, that's a really good question. I don't know if Jordan would listen,
It's like, my dad's a big leaguer. I don't have to listen to you.
He's pretty smart. He's pretty smart, because I've been showing him some little drills to do, and he does them. And he doesn't, and he's fixing it. I'm like, wow, because so he really, really, really enjoys it. So I don't know, but he's still vulnerable at being so young, that he could, and then you get into bad habits, and once you start a bad habit, it's tough to break those. So we want to create some good habits from the jump, so we don't have to break any bad ones.
Right. All right, folks, we're here with Rajai Davis, stolen base king. And this is the guy, like 415 stolen bases, active Major League Baseball stolen base leader. And you know what? I don't know. If I was that dad, it would be impossible for me to keep my mouth shut in the seats. I would have to watch it on video somewhere. I couldn't even be in the area code because my mouth is too big and I yell really loud. No, I would be that angry dad on the bench. I'd be like, no, you're not doing it right. I don't know how you contain yourself.
Well, I guess I wouldn't want to embarrass him because I got to live with him, and if I am the dad, I would like to talk about, I guess, once the game is over, let's talk about the decisions you made. Let's talk about it. Let's go over it. It's something I read about. One of my former teammates who his dad played in the major leagues, but and he's an all-star. His name, Michael Brantley. I read about him. Constantly talking with his dad every morning about his last game, and he's 3-time all-star and very, very successful hitter, and learning that, guess what, when you talk about it, you're actually able to recapture what you did, and so so you're able to replicate it, and the more you recapture it. And so that's what obviously I've learned these things as I've progressed and matured in baseball. But these are the lessons that former guys who want to get better, they're doing. They're able to recapture what they did so they can repeat it over again, and that's baseball. It's consistently doing the same thing daily.
Yeah, I mean, look, folks. In case you don't realize, there's 162 games played in the regular season. You get a whole mess of preseason, and likely for a guy like this, you're going to have some postseason games. I mean, this can run up to 200 games, and repetition, and you can't really take a nap because there's always somebody out there trying to take your job, unless your name is, I don't know, Ken Griffey Jr. or whatever from back in the day, right? It's just one of those things. But I tell you what, we're going to be back here with this guy. That would be Rajai Davis. 415 stolen bases, Major League Baseball, current stolen bases leader. I think he's got another, 85 left in him. We'll have to see if he can go ahead and bring those home. I want to see that 500th one. Back here with him in just a few minutes on the Circus. You're going to do it, man. You're going to do it. Absolutely. Back here in a few. Don't go anywhere.